This is a Saturday Morning TVLog from Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Welcome to another Saturday Morning TVLog, and this time around it's The Adventures of Raggedy Ann and Andy, brought to us by CBS Entertainment Productions and Macmillan Incorporated. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. I'm Doyle, the Big D to you. This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So this week's Saturday Morning TVLog is The Adventures of Raggedy Ann and Andy, an animated television series based on the dolls created by Johnny Gruelle. Now, the series was produced directly by CBS itself in honor of the 70th anniversary of the characters. It premiered on the network in 1988 to September 17th. This aired, and which aired as their first show on the lineup, and was immediately followed by another new series which celebrated its anniversary, which was Superman. But I've already talked about that series. Anyway, yes. The series was developed by Janice Diamond, who had recently written episodes of shows including the original He-Man and the Masters of the Universe and the Mr. T cartoon as well. The producer of the series was David Doy, who was working at Hanna-Barbera because he had already been working on the Smurfs and other shows for that studio. Of course, he later went on to work on other shows for the studio. But anyway, let's get into the story of the series. Now, the plot involved a little girl named Marcella, whose Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls would come to life when no humans were present in her bedroom. Then they would be whisked off to a parallel world to save its inhabitants from the villain. Most of the time, it's different villains, but the main villain was an evil but inept sorcerer known as Cracklin. Also aiding the Raggedy duo are some stuffed animals of Marcella's, including a panda with a faux British accent known as Grouchy Bear, and a stuffed rabbit known as Sunny Bunny, as well as the Raggedy Cat and the Raggedy Dog. Now, the only other character, now there was another character, but this was already featured in the Raggedy Ann and Andy universe, and that was the camel with the wrinkled knees. Anyway, now sometimes the duo and friends would be joined by more modern toys, such as robots or toy soldiers. Often the plot involved the toys helping children in such places as ancient Egypt or a Native American tribe. As the cartoon was meant for younger audiences, it was unlike most other tunes in the 80s, which had morals to the story at the end. Although one episode lightly touched upon the issue of poaching when Raggedy Ann, Andy, and their friends had to save endangered unicorns from cattle rustlers who sought to steal their horns for personal gain. Which, of course, that was featured in episode number 11, The Little Chicken Adventure. Now, as an A's kid, I did grow up watching this show. Yes, I remembered watching this, and I just recently finished revisiting the series for the first time in years. I hadn't seen this show in a long time. Now, of course, um, the characters of Raggedy and Andy, this was not their first time to be animated, because they actually did appear in an animated short long before this, and then had a 1977 film called Raggedy and Andy: A Musical Adventure. Now, I have yet to see that film, but I do know that film's currently on YouTube. But anyway, after an overall total of 13 episodes were produced and aired, the show ended on Christmas Eve of 1988. However, the show continued in reruns for the next season. And then late summer of 1991, it returned just briefly after CBS shelved reruns of Pee Wee's Playhouse after it had just finished. Anyway, now the series itself is so amazing. It's full of amazing and well, it's hard to explain. Amazing and wonderful environments that the toys go through and that help well strange characters and what have you. Maybe not strange, but I think you get the idea when you see this series if you've never seen this. This is a show I would definitely recommend if you've never seen it. If you were, even if you were an 80s kid. The series is available on YouTube. It has been released on physical media as well a few years back, which you can still get for a pretty reasonable price, as I checked Amazon. Yeah, because it was released on DVD in 2014 and it has all episodes. Now, this has a pretty good voice acting cast. For the voice acting cast, we have Christina Lang voicing Raggedy Ann and Josh Rodin voicing Raggedy Andy. Now, I like these two characters. They are very, very good and what have you. And I really enjoyed the performance they gave to us. For the rest, the cast, we have Charlie Adler, who recently had lent his voice to the last series from Filmation, Brave Star, and then he later went on to voice Paddington Bear for Hanna-Barbera and Buster Bunny for Tiny Toon Adventures. After this, he voiced Grouchy Bear. Yeah, really something, huh? As well as Tick and Tack, who are Cracklin's goons. Cracklin is voiced by Michael Bell, who most people would remember hearing his voice in the Super Friends and the original G.I. Joe. Actually, that same year, he would voice Lex Luthor in a few episodes of the Ruby Spears Superman series, which of course was on after this on CBS. The camel with the wrinkled knees is voiced by Kenneth Mars, who has done numerous voice acting in shows like The Biscuits and Disney's Little Mermaid, both the movie and series. Oh, and he has appeared in movies as well. Voicing Sunny Bunny is Katie Lee, who has done numerous voice acting work. Of course, she recently was the voice of the titular character in the English dub of The Adventures of the Little Prince, which, of course, I watched on Nickelodeon. I think a lot of y'all might remember that. She also had done voice acting for many other cartoons, including Pandemonium and the Pound Puppies, the Real Ghostbusters, and well, just lots of and the Smurfs. Now, the Raggedy Dog was voiced by Dana Hill. Of course, she later went on to voice Max Goof on Goof Troop many years later, and of course, the previous year she voiced Scrappy, the orphan mouse, in Mighty Mouse and New Adventures. And after this, she voiced Teddy 2 in Jetsons the movie. Now, voicing Raggedy Cat is Cat Susie, who, of course, this would be one of her earlier attempts, her early series. She later went on to lend her voice to Phil and Lil and their mother on Rugrats, Lola Bunny and the Looney Tunes franchise, Linka and Captain Planet, and what have you. She had recently voiced Minx on Gem, and has done lots of others animated series. And for the rest, Tracy Rowe does the voice of Marcella. Unfortunately, this is a character where we don't see the face, just like Nanny on Muppet Babies. And we hear Gail Hyman's no, Hyman. Sorry, I thought I saw an R in the name. Sorry, as doing her mother's vocals. There's much other voice actors including Bob Bergen, Ruth Buzzy, whom we sadly lost last week. You may know from Rowan Martin's Laugh-In. Yes, may she rest in peace. Let's see, Bill Calloway, Hamilton Camp, Nancy Cartwright. Yes, just right about the time she actually started to make it big as Bart Simpson. Danny Cooksey, and Jim Cummings, Jennifer Darling, Tony J, Rob Paulson, and yes, even Frank Welker himself. Oh, the list goes on. But anyway, I'd say if you remember Raggy and Andy and you never knew about this show, then this show would be right up your alley, and I think this would be a perfect show for you to check out. Yes. And I really will say that's a good show with great characters. Here's a look. Here's a shot of Raggedy and Andy and their friends with the Raggedy Cat and Raggedy Dog. Now, of course, I do believe this was taken from the actual intro sequence to the series. Anyway, each episode, The Adventures of Raggedy and Andy, has lots of fun and excitement and amazing adventure and lots of funny stuff as well. Of course, you can't have much fun stuff and what have you. But anyway, this is a nice show, and I think your kids will like it too if you let them watch it. Now, as I've said, the full series is on YouTube, is on physical media. I think, which I believe you can still get for a decent price. I know Amazon has it for a good price, but they're running out of copies though. So best of luck to it. But I really do think this is a great show. And actually, according to sources, the developer of the show, Janice Diamond, also wrote, let's see, some wrote or co-wrote some of the stories or teleplays. But anyway, this is a fun show. The Adventures of Raggedy Ann and the series from 1988 is definitely worth looking into. I don't know if this show had ever been aired again after it was dropped from CBS. But anyway, it would have been fun to see if this had kept going. But anyway, that'll do it for this Saturday Morning TV Log. What did you think of the adventures of Raggedy and Andy? Did you ever see this show when you were an 80s kid? Or when you were growing up? If so, let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, consider clicking the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel. Make it grow and make the views grow. Tell all your friends about my channel. Give them to know me. May they like to be a part of my Big D Nation as well. And share my vids with your friends as well. Well, which I think I already repeated, but hey, who's counting? Anyway, and stay tuned later. Tonight will be a spoiler for a review of Love Hurts. So if you like this, check out my Saturday Morning TV logs for these other shows that have a little bit of messages to them about caring and what have you. In the upper left-hand corner is the Saturday Morning TV log on the Care Bears animated series from the 80s. Or go to the upper right hand corner and see my Saturday Morning TV log on the new adventures of Winnie the Pooh, which actually premiered the same year this did. Or go to the bottom left hand corner and see last week's Saturday Morning TV log in the Pink Panther and Sons from 1984. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., as well as the Saturday Morning TV log, then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching, and next week's Saturday Morning TV log is Mission Magic. So until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.